capital city. This is News Channel 20 at 10.
Good evening, everyone. News Channel 20's got you covered tonight on the results of today's Election Day primary.
We begin in Springfield, where 5 candidates for mayor have been vying for 2 spots on April's general election ballot.
Let's take a look at them right now. And the top 2 vote getters moving on to the general election in April. There it is, Jim Langfelder garnering 40% of the vote, Paul Palazzolo with 35% of the vote, incumbent mayor Mike Houston trailing with only 19% of the vote, Gail Simpson and Samuel Johnson bringing up the rear of that 5-person field.
We have team coverage of the mayor's race tonight. We'll start with Paul Palazzolo's campaign headquarters on South 5th Street in Springfield. That's where News Channel 20's Jordan Abudea is right now. Jordan, probably a lot of celebration right now.
Liz and Vince, everybody very excited here at Paul Palazzolo's headquarters, as you can see behind us. We are joined now with Paul Palazzolo, and he joins us. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jordan.
How are you feeling right now?
Extremely excited. We're humbled by the confidence that the voters expressed in my potential to serve well as mayor. We're looking forward to the next 6 weeks to continue getting our message out.
And so what are some of these big messages and that you're going to bring to the campaign in the next 6 weeks?
Well, we're going to continue leading the conversation about what we can do to help the city of Springfield move forward. And that's about bringing jobs, opportunities to the city of Springfield. Absolutely, absolutely. Making sure that we have the opportunities that we need to bring our city's children and grandchildren back home after their collegiate or high school careers are complete. It's about the future and not about the past, and that's what we're going to lead about.
And so now that you're going forward, why are you going to be the best mayor for Springfield?
I believe I bring not only the efficiency and effectiveness skills that we need to manage city government, but I also bring a dynamic leadership, a bold voice that can help the city move forward, and that's what I intend to do.
And what do you think is the biggest issue facing Springfield right now?
Bringing more opportunities to the city of Springfield. I think that's the biggest issue that we face, and I believe that I can help that happen by keeping utility rates low, keeping taxes low, making sure that we run government efficiently so that then I can use my voice and my skills to bring more job opportunities to the city of Springfield, and then collectively move forward to help Springfield be a great city that just also happens to be the capital of Illinois.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Congratulations. And our team coverage continues tonight with News Channel 20's Garrett Berger, who's live at Jim Langfelder's campaign headquarters right now. Garrett, how's it feeling over there?
Well, Jordan, like I saw over at your campaign, it's pretty lively over here as well. You can hear the noise. A lot of people still packed in here wanting to support their candidate. Speaking of the candidate, here he is, Jim Langfelder. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you finished on top of the primary with 40% of the vote. What do you credit with your success?
Just a lot of hard work and the voters getting out, and we look forward to the next 6 weeks and doing the same.
Now, we heard your opponent, Paul Palazzolo, promise to grow Springfield. That's been his main campaign promise. What's your promise for the city of Springfield?
Well, our family has been growing this community for decades, and what my promise is to do what's best for Springfield and raising the level of trust with government, and that way we can get a lot of more things done and accomplished through the whole community.
What's the issue that you think this campaign is going to come down to, this political race?
Well, for me, it's building the level of trust. That's how you gain acceptance with the community and raising all areas of the community. If one area, part of the area of the community is suffering, we all suffer. So it's what I'm going to do is raise the level of trust, and together we're going to bring this community forward and make it the model city for all of in the nation with regards to race relations, economic development, CWLP, and most importantly, trust in the city government to do what's best for Springfield.
So what's going to make you the best choice for the mayor of Springfield for people going out to the ballot boxes on April 7th?
Well, it's my private sector experience, my 12 years as city treasurer, having an open door policy and working well with the community as well as the city council. And I bring another air of integrity to the office of the mayor, good Lord willing.
All right, and we're going to have plenty of coverage over the next 6 weeks before the April 7th election. Back to you guys.
All right, Garrett, thanks very much. And of course, tonight's triumphs for Jim Langfelder and Paul Palazzolo mean Springfield Mayor Mike Houston will not be up for re-election in April's general election. News Channel 20's Eric Feldman live with the Houston camp tonight at the Quantum Center. Eric, looks pretty desolate there behind you.
As you can see behind me, the lights are on, but the party is long over, much shorter than people were anticipating here at Mayor Mike Houston's watch party. The votes are in, completely counted. Mayor Mike Houston finished in third place in the mayoral primary with 18% of the vote. He declined our interview this past hour, but an hour ago, we had an interview with Mayor Mike Houston, and we're going to play a short bit of our exchange. What do you think happened? Obviously, you know, your anticipation going to the general election. What do you think went wrong in this campaign?
Well, Channel 20 didn't help the situation with the Shredgate. I think you did a couple of real hit pieces on me. The piece that was done last night was not professional. There was no new news. News is supposed to be fair and balanced, and what was done by Channel 20 was hardly fair and balanced, and I certainly think that had ended in the result that you see tonight.
So you think our coverage of Shredgate and the fallout afterwards has had an impact on how voters have come out tonight?
I think that, first of all, you had about 18% of the people turn out, and that's a shame. I think that as a result of what was released today, I will be totally exonerated as a result of having no knowledge that this took place. Now, again, I'm not talking about you weren't around, but there's no question that you guys did a couple of real hit pieces on me, and I just hope the general public realizes that.
I'd like to clarify, we stand by all the reports that we have filed over the past 18 months regarding the Shredgate scandal. And as I said, we stand by every single story, every single report that we've done in regards to the shredding scandal. So the coverage that we have will be continuing with the mayoral primary. Tomorrow morning, we have interviews with the winners, Paul Palazzolo and Jim Langfelder, reporting live.
Thanks so much, Eric. Well, the only other Springfield race on the ballot today, Ward 2 Alderman. In that race, 6 candidates are vying for the chance to move on to April's general election.
News Channel 20's Maggie Pateau here now to tell us the 2 candidates with the most votes. Hi, Maggie.
Well, Vince Liz, current Ward 2 Alderman Gail Simpson, vacated the post to run for mayor, and 6 candidates were trying for that spot. Here are the results from today's primary. Herman Sonor winning the top spot with 36% of the vote, with Teresa Haley coming in second with 30% of the vote. You know, all of the candidates shared goals for the ward of curtailing crime, driving development, improving infrastructure, but it all came down to the votes. And again, Herman Sonor and Teresa Haley winning the top spots, and they will be the 2 that will move on to the general election in April. Now, voters will decide all 10 seats on Springfield City Council on April 7th. The general election, that is when that will happen. Back to you.
All right, Maggie, thanks very much. Other primary races across central Illinois include tonight Ward 3 Alderman in Lincoln. And there, incumbent Todd Morning defeated challenger Wanda Lee Rolfs.
And in the city of Carlinville, the race for Ward 2 goes to Democrat David Steiner. He beats his challenger Jan Hines Best to take the seat.
Hey, Chief Meteorologist Rick Kirby here, and I got to be honest with you, I have not stuck my nose out in about 12 hours, so I don't know what it's like outside.
We've been a little bit busy today here with Election Day, but I do know it was a cold morning for anybody heading to the polls.
Yeah, record cold this morning, and the winds were howling this morning as well. The winds have calmed down a little bit. It's not too bad out temperature-wise. We're in the 20s to 30s outside right now. Some clouds have developed, but now we're seeing some breaks in the clouds. So clear to partly to mostly cloudy skies as the night wears on once again, as a cold front to our north will push more clouds our way. But we're watching this area of low pressure to the northwest. It's going to track our way just to our southwest beginning tomorrow evening through Thursday morning and bring some snow across the area. The bullseye of snow will be just to our northwest, but you're likely to see some accumulations as well. Temperatures right now in the 20s to 30s. So again, not terribly cold outside, but wind chills in places are in the teens. We've seen a lot colder weather here recently. There's your first forecast. Temperatures tomorrow in the 20s to 30s. So temperature wise tomorrow, not too bad as well. But again, we're watching snow chances for tomorrow night into Thursday. Another one maybe more significant for the weekend, and yet another one early next week. So a lot of weather going on. I'll break it all down and tell you how much snow you may see coming up.
All right, Rick, thanks very much.
On top of snow. Well, hey, just a reminder, this winter and always, you can count on News Channel 20 to have the latest weather forecast. We'll have updates on our website, WICS.com. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Here's the headline from the much anticipated state police case file released earlier today regarding the shredding scandal at the Springfield Police Department. Like the one-page release from the state attorney appellate prosecutor, this nearly 900-page file does not contain a summary report detailing what happened, the motive behind it, and those that were involved. We haven't gone through the entire file, but we have been able to examine a good bit of it thus far. Right now, from what we've been able to find out, it's pretty much a case of finger pointing and denials. So tonight we focus on one key meeting held just hours before the shredding takes place, April 25th. According to these state police documents, a meeting takes place on April 25th, 2013 in the office of lead Springfield City Attorney Mark Cullen. Also attending, Police Chief Robert Williams, Deputy Chief Cliff Busher, Mayor Houston's Executive Assistant Willis Logan, and Assistant City Attorney Jeanette Wittendorf. Now, most of the information and statements we're about to show you come from state police interview narrative reports. Basically, those are a synopsis written by a state police investigator based on the actual interviews with those listed above. It should also be noted that the file did not contain narratives for everyone interviewed, nor did it contain full transcripts of those interviews, so we use narratives when transcripts are not available and exact quotes from the transcripts that are. Now, back to the meeting. The state police documents show the conference is focused on whether to destroy Deputy Chief Cliff Busher's internal affairs file, which was under a Freedom of Information Act request. That file contained embarrassing information surrounding one night in 2008 during a Missouri vacation where Busher was arrested and faced a felony weapons charge. Busher later pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of disturbing the peace. The meeting time was crucial because two things were happening. One, an amendment to the police union contract allowing for the immediate destruction of dozens of IA files, including Busher's, was ready to go and just needed signatures. Secondly, the city was under a deadline to respond to that FOIA request for the Busher file that same day. The narrative report for Chief Robert Williams indicates that he does not want Deputy Chief Busher's file to be destroyed. That is confirmed in the narrative report from Executive Assistant Willis Logan. And in Deputy Chief Cliff Busher's narrative, he says he didn't care if his file was kept because he said all that information was already out there. A side note, though, only his arrest and conviction in Missouri was made public, but until our Ready, Set, Shred series aired in July 2013, the public was not aware of the explicit, embarrassing details contained in his internal affairs file. The only person opposed to keeping the Busher file was lead city attorney Mark Cullen. That's the assertion contained in Assistant City Attorney Jeanette Wittendorf's narrative report. In it, Wittendorf is paraphrased as saying that Cullen said they were not going to save that file, and they were doing nothing wrong. In response, Mark Cullen is quoted from his interview transcript as saying, quote, "I don't recall that comment." According to Willis Logan's narrative, Assistant City Attorney Jeanette Wittendorf is brought into that meeting to explain why she believes it's okay to destroy the Busher file, which is under that FOIA request. In this interoffice memo dated May 1st, 6 days after the shredding occurs, Wittendorf sends this memo to her boss, Mark Cullen. It states that on April 25th, she contacted a person at the Attorney General's office in their FOIA hotline division. The letter goes on to note the specific questions Wittendorf asked. This document shows that Wittendorf had an 11-minute phone call with someone from the AG's office on April 25th. Quoting now from the transcript of the interview with state police, Jeanette Wittendorf says, quote, "I explained to him the situation that we received a FOIA request, and during the pendency of a FOIA request, an expungement period occurs. How should we proceed? What should we do with the FOIA?" Wittendorf continues, quote, he said, "Well, there is no preservation clause. There is no holding. You should go ahead and proceed with the expungement and respond that there's no document responsive." You may remember from our Ready, Set, Shred series in July 2013, that's exactly what happened. The MOU was signed later that day, April 25th. And this email from Wittendorf indicates that lead city attorney Mark Cullen instructed Wittendorf to begin, quote, "the expungement of the files subject to the MOU needs to occur immediately." At 4:30 p.m., this email is sent by the city to Calvin Christian, who filed the FOIA. It says simply, quote, "The Springfield Police Department has no documents responsive to your requests." But wait a minute. Documents show the phone call did take place between Wittendorf and someone at the Attorney General's office, but did that someone really give Wittendorf the go-ahead to destroy Busher's FOIA file? State Police report identifies the man Wittendorf spoke with as Matt Hartman, who at the time was a FOIA counselor. In his narrative, State Police write that he remembers speaking with Wittendorf on April 25th, but does not recall specifics of the conversation. Furthermore, when asked specifically that Wittendorf says he told her to go ahead and get rid of those files, Hartman denies that and said he would not have advised Wittendorf to get rid of files, but would have advised her to make copies of the file, Buscher's file, and give them to the requester. Tonight, Mayor Houston's Director of Communications, Nathan Mihelich, released this statement on the release of that State Police case file. It says, quote, "The report itself speaks for itself. After 18 months, we are relieved that the report is finally available to the public. It shows what can happen when individuals are not invested in the transparency that all of us strive for. In addition, it shows that the mayor was not involved and that he took the immediate steps to seek the truth, make sure an incident like this never happens again, and restore our trust." Over the next few weeks, the report will be analyzed in further detail to determine if additional policies or procedures need to be implemented to strengthen the measures put in place by the mayor.
Still ahead, cuts coming. The idea is discussed in the Soy City tonight as Decatur's school district looks to close a multi-million-dollar budget deficit. And a busy night of playoff basketball throughout Central Illinois. Sports Director Donnie Tillman recaps the action later in sports.
You're watching News Channel 20 at 10 with Vince Dementri, Liz Foster, Chief Meteorologist Rick Kirby, and Sports with Donnie Tillman. This is News Channel 20 at 10.
Welcome back, everybody. Drastic education cuts are looming in Decatur. The school board is looking to carve millions out of its budget.
News Channel 20's Lindsay Hess was at tonight's meeting and joins us now with more on what changes should be in store. Lindsay.
Vince, Liz, the superintendent of Decatur Schools, presented a plan to the school board tonight that includes more than $2.1 million in cuts. With nowhere else to trim, school leaders say jobs are now on the line. It's a meeting no school board wants to have.
It's never fun. This is one of the things we're talking about, $2.2 million.
Major budget cuts for Decatur schools. Nothing new for this cash-strapped district.
Any extra has really been cut over the last 5 years. We've been going through budget cuts for at least 5 years. So you've really trimmed all the fat at this point, and we have to decide as a district what the priorities are and what we can offer, and we try to avoid the classroom at all cost.
Part of the plan presented to the school board, cutting 12 teachers from the district's 2 middle schools.
Some of our core subject teachers, math, science, English, social studies, they have 2 planning periods per day, so that would reduce to 1 period per day like the rest of the teachers in the district, and hopefully those staff would be displaced throughout the district and not actually lose their job.
Another cost-saving measure on the table, closing Phoenix Academy, an alternative school.
We have collaborated with the Regional Office of Education to hopefully expand their program, which is Milligan Academy, and absorb our students that would need alternative education.
The plan also includes making $240,000 worth of administrative staff reductions.
We are recommending changing the Director of Transportation to a coordinator position. We've also cut the Director of Curriculum Instruction position as it was vacated earlier this year.
Decatur School Board President tells us they're also bracing for a possible reduction in state aid.
I think everybody in the state of Illinois is concerned about that, because if they go any lower than they are now, it makes them make more cuts.
The school board will vote on budget reductions in March. Liz?
Thanks, Lindsay. State lawmakers are now looking at a plan that would require college students pay back certain tuition breaks if they leave Illinois within 5 years of graduating. The legislation would affect the Monetary Award Program, also known as MAP grants, which go to about 140,000 low-income students. The plan would also require students with those grants to graduate within 4 years, and they would not be able to get a grant if they flunk out.
The average student loan debt for Illinois students that they graduate with is about $28,000 already. So if a student is getting a maximum MAP grant for their whole time that they're getting a bachelor's degree, they could end up with another $22,000 on top of that.
Officials with the Illinois Student Assistance Commission say about 9 out of 10 students who graduate from Illinois schools stay to work in the state after graduation.
Got a bit of a respite today. Temperature not too bad during the day, right?
A little bit better than we've been seeing over the past couple of days.
Yeah, we hit the freezing mark today. How about that? Progress.
Who would cheer for that, right?
Yeah, look at that. But look at that low temperature, 8 below zero. Are you kidding me? That's a record. The old record, 3 below, set in 1989. There is more Arctic air on the way and several snow chances. Who wants to add snow to your yard, huh? You have to shovel again. I'll tell you when. Coming up next.
Now, your Storm Team 20 weather with Chief Meteorologist Rick Kirby.
Hey, let's talk weather. We have a lot of clouds, but the clouds are getting some breaks in them. Temperatures tonight will be a bit warmer, quite a bit warmer. Last night we saw low temperatures way below zero. We set a record low of 8 below in Springfield this morning. Hey, first our weather guarantee tonight. Our charity of the month is the Lawrence Avenue Community Service, and here's what we have going today. We forecast a high of 34. We hit 32. That's within 3 degrees, so there's another $100 now, $1,000. The Green Family Stores is set to donate to the Lawrence Avenue Community Service. All right, 3 things you want to know here. We have snow chances tomorrow night. Snow chances for the weekend and snow chances early next week. Tomorrow night, it's late evening into the early morning hours of Thursday. Some accumulation certainly possible. A little better chance of accumulation Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday could even see a rain-snow mix. And then Monday night into Tuesday, another chance of some snow. It's probably our lightest snow chance. But when you total all of this up, we could lay another 6+ inches of snow on the ground in your very yard. So a lot going on here over the next 7 days. Mostly cloudy skies tonight. Now some breaks in the clouds, but a cold front to our north will bring more clouds our way later tonight. And throughout the day tomorrow, we expect mostly cloudy skies. So that's one piece of our weather. But what we're really watching is this area of low pressure out here. It's going to track like that and give us that snow chance tomorrow evening, probably late evening into the overnight hours. Temperatures outside right now in the 20s to low 30s. So yeah, this is not too bad. You can handle this. Temperatures right now 24 in Springfield and around Menard County right now. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-20s. Greenview 26, Oakford same thing, Aithinger at 25, Petersburg, Curtis 25, Tallulah right now 26 degrees. The winds are a little breezy at times, nothing like they were this morning. Wind chills in the teens for some, low to mid-20s for others. You can see the winds for most of us blowing less than 10 miles per hour right now. And as far as wind gusts go, those have really calmed down in the last hour or so. Some folks were gusting to near 20 miles per hour, but this morning we have wind gusts of 25, 30 miles per hour. So there's that high and low again today with that record-setting 8 below. There's your old record of 3 below. So mostly cloudy skies here tomorrow. Then as we head toward the evening, here comes some snow chances. This is around 9 o'clock in Springfield, and then we'll see snow chances continue into the overnight hours and maybe early on Thursday. And then cold Arctic air comes in here Thursday night and into Friday. How much snow will we see? The bullseye, the heavy snow just to our northwest over Iowa. That's the most likely scenario, 6 to 8 inches there. 2 to 4 getting close to our viewing area, but most of us we think come in at about 1 to 3 inches. The latest models for Springfield ranging anywhere from 0.7 inches all the way up to 3.5. We think again 1 to 3, probably in that 1 to 2 inch zone, but we'll have to see how that heavy snow to the northwest how far it makes it to the southeast. All right, for tonight, mostly cloudy, 17 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 31 for the high. Winds pretty light, so that'll make it for a nicer day. There's your snow chance tomorrow night and early Thursday. You see the one for the weekend. That could bring several inches of snow still early on that, and then a lighter snow possible Monday night into Tuesday. By the way, very cold Thursday and Friday as more Arctic air comes our way.
Yeah, but at least the daytime temps are decent.
Decent, yeah, until the end of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you can put a positive spin on it, guys.
It's almost the weekend.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Keep
We're
that.
there.
Almost.
We're getting
It's
there.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow's hump day.
Hump day, baby.
What day is it, Liz? Back to you.
Still ahead. Shot down for now.
The controversial plan vetoed by President Obama today, and whether it looks like Republicans will have enough votes to override it.
Hard to implement. That's what a top credit rating agency is calling Governor Bruce Rauner's budget proposal. Moody's Investors Service says many of Rauner's ideas are expected to face strong opposition from Democrats, who, as you know, control the legislature here in Illinois. Rauner has proposed big cuts to bridge a $6 billion budget gap without raising taxes. The agency says the political landscape may make it difficult to enact even a few key elements of the governor's proposal, much less than the entire plan.
President Obama vetoing legislation today that would have given final approval to the Keystone XL oil pipeline. The pipeline would transport oil from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. Advocates say the pipeline would create jobs, but opponents say there are too many environmental risks. The project's been under review by the State Department for years. The White House says the president could sign off on the plan once that review is finished. Republicans aren't believed to have enough votes to override the veto. Congressman Rodney Davis releasing a statement today that says in part, quote, "It's unfortunate that despite years of scientific studies, approval from his own State Department, the urging of business and labor, and the support of members on both sides of the aisle, the president chose to play politics by vetoing the Keystone XL pipeline."
Sports Director Donnie Tillman joining us now. Exciting times on the hardwood tonight.
Yes, some major twists and turns this evening in the Central State 8 Conference.
Yeah, crazier results than the elections, Liz. Just when you think it was about all done, someone throws a wrench into the plans. I'll tell you what went down next in sports.
Now, sports with Donnie Tillman.
Good evening, everyone. The small school boys begin their path to Peoria this week in the IHSA playoffs. Some teams' paths will last a little longer than others from this point forward. At the Illini Central Regional tonight, it's Calvary and Hartsburg-Emden. Michael Johnson driving to the basket, gets the layup to go for two. Then later it's going to be Alec Hayes, recipient of this nice pass, down in the paint, up and in for a bucket. The other way we go now, it's Joseph Martin who pokes the ball away, and he's going to score on the nice layup here. Hartsburg-Emden's Alec Hayes is going to find Antonio Kirk for the layup, but Hardham's season comes to an end. Calvary advances 72-55. At the Waverly Regional, Waverly taking on New Berlin tonight. First half, Waverly playing some defense. Bailey Carruthers with the steal. The other way we go, he gets the layup off the box and in. Off the miss, Cam Cummings. Johnny on the spot. Gets the easy ball and the bucket there for two. Carruthers is going to find Josh Wilson in the corner, and the senior drains the three right in front of our corner. Nothing but splash. And then the Scotties continue to play takeaway tonight. Waverly advances after a 52-37 win. To the Midwest Central Regional now. Athens and Williamsville playing for the rights to take on Porter Friday. Off the miss, Devin Richardson with the rebound and the putback for Athens. Then it's going to be Matt Wendling playing the passing lanes. He takes the ball away. He's going to score the layup. Part of a 9-0 run for the Warriors, but things would shift in the second half. It's going to be Harrison Cresswell, big in the paint. Turnaround jumper off the glass is good for two. And then watch off the missed field goal here. Never fear, because Harrison's going to get the hoop and the harm. He had 24 points on the night. Williamsville wins in overtime 54-51. At the Monticello Regional, Monticello taking on Clinton tonight. Second quarter, off the inbounds pass. It's Jake Overton who takes the contact, but he gets the bucket. Clinton hanging around on this one in the fast break area. It's Tanner White with the bucket and the foul. Sage is up just 6, but Monticello too much. Daniel Caldwell knocks down a triple. Clinton's season comes to an end after a 65-48 loss. To Class 3A hoops now. The large school boys wrapping up the final week of the regular season. In CS8 action tonight, it is Glenwood taking on Lamphere. Drew Perriott from the corner drains the three there. Then it's going to be Ethan Hunt from the other side. He'll knock down the tray. Lamphere trying to hang tight. Watch off the loose ball. It's going to be Xavier Bishop starting the fast break. Nice pass to Cardell McGee. Layup is good, but the Titans are going to work hard for this win tonight. Cole Harper with the layup, 53-49. Glenwood now tied with Lincoln because they lost at Southeast tonight. Hockey this evening, the St. Louis Blues hosting the Montreal Canadiens. Blues down 2-0. David Backus is going to light the lamp up. That cuts the deficit 2-1. Montreal continue to press the issue. It's going to be Brandon Gallagher who scores on the break here. The Blues lose 5-2 your final. And finally, this story just broke about an hour ago. Chicago Bulls guard Derrick Rose has a torn meniscus in his right knee. The tear was discovered after an MRI exam today. Rose will undergo surgery according to team officials. Rose has torn his ACL in his right and left knees. No timetable on his return as of yet. Hey, don't go away. Rick still has one last look at your winter forecast.
Before we wrap things up tonight, we want to recap tonight's top stories.
Mike Houston will not be reelected mayor of Springfield. The top two vote getters in the mayor's race tonight, Jim Langfelder with 40% of the vote, Paul Palazzolo with 35% of the vote. Those two men now will be on the ballot for the April 7th general election.
Also on the ballot in Springfield, the Ward 2 race, and we can see there that the winner there is Herman Sonor with 36% of the vote. Teresa Haley coming up short, but very close with 30% of that vote.
Last look at our forecast.
Yeah, an interesting 7-day forecast. Tomorrow night we see snow chances return. It could be an inch or two, maybe 3 in places by Thursday morning. Then Arctic air back in here, 20 on Thursday, 18 on Friday. Look at those nights, 3 below Friday night. So Saturday morning is a cold one. And Saturday night, another snow chance, rain or snow possible on Sunday. And Monday night, another snow chance. The weekend snow chance could be several inches or so.
Snow, snow, snow.
That's right. Well, hey, that's it for News Channel 20 at 10. But we want to remind you can find your latest election results online at WICS.com. And, of course, on Sunrise this morning tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be joining Jimmy Kimmel live in progress. Have a great rest of your evening and a fantastic day tomorrow.